had been hospitalized. And then when I was going back to school, my biggest worry was like how people were going to perceive me.
Whether or not they would treat me differently. It was kind of hard to like fit in.
Getting back into the rhythm of actually having to do homework.
It's hard trying to catch up. When they say gym and I just have to sit back.
Even though that's hard for a teenager to do, but I have to obey the doctor's rules.
Something that can happen for adolescents coping with chronic illness is that they become school avoidant.
I'm Brittany. I have pseudo obstruction and I'm 14 years old. I was out for a very long period of time, and then it was really hard for me to get back into the school routine.
My illness was really a shock.
Yeah, that was for me too. I was really worried. I missed first semester of freshman year, and so that's when like everyone's making new friends.
And then when teachers just expected me to, do the work, it was like, no, I should be at home watching those talk shows right now.
I didn't want to go back until I put some weight back on because I'd lost a lot of weight.
Because I was bald, and I didn't want anyone to see my bald head.
We find that one of the most important things is to have a positive outlook, to look forward to the future. And the future for kids is going to school and being a part of your peer group, a part of your friends.
I wanted to get back to school because when you're in a hospital, it's like you're just sitting there looking out your window, looking and just thinking in your mind, I wonder what's happening at school. I wonder what so-and-so is doing right now.
I was really happy to go back.
I mean, for me, if I wouldn't have gone to school, I would have just cracked.
One of the things that kept me going, I think, was thinking about going back to school and all the things I would be able to do again.
My name's Andrew. I have cystic fibrosis, and I'm 19. My doctor would tell me not to go back to school, and I'd be like, I can't sit at home for another week. I'd go into school like late, like at 10 o'clock, and I would just stay in the resource room, and my teachers would bring me assignments, and on their off period, if I needed help, they would come and help me.
You definitely appreciate school just for the fact that it's a place where you can be with people.
And you know you're going to have to face everybody at some time or another, so the sooner you go back and do it, the sooner it's over with and the sooner you can move on.
My name is Eddie. I was born with spina bifida, and I'm 18 years old. First day of school, oh, where's my locker? Where's my... some people, they're looking down. I'm looking up because I just know. You just automatically know. And it's like, oh, 3:24. It's up. Why am I not surprised?
When I first went back to school, because my energy level was a lot lower, passing period wasn't a social activity. It was like the whole 5 minutes I was constantly trying to just get to the next class.
And then when I went back, like the whole style of clothing and stuff, it's so different.
I remember specifically actually the first day because I was so sort of paranoid because I was all drugged up and everything.
People felt that they shouldn't say anything because they don't want to hurt my feelings,
It's a little nerve-wracking the first few days, but after that it's right back to normal. It's really cool. People really care. Not everyone does, but a lot of people do.
Some people transition back into school and it's really okay, and there's a lot of support around them. What we want to encourage them is not to assume it's going to be all bad.
My name is Amy. I'm in remission from osteosarcoma, and I'm 19. I don't think anyone can say that it was completely easy to go back to school. On the first day there was going to be some doubts, but anything that's worth doing is worth paying for. So kind of consider it your down payment on the rest of your life, really.
My name's Bruce. I have leukemia, and I'm 16 and a half. And when I walk down the hallways, you'd hear people whispering, like, that's him, he's the one with the sickness, It bothered me a little bit, but it's like, hey, if you want to know exactly what it is, talk to me about it. Don't just go whisper to your friends and stuff.
It feels like you almost have to make an excuse for why you look the way you look. I'm sorry, am I bothering you with the way that I, come across with my body? And people are like that, especially in high school.
People stared at me a lot. I got in a lot of fights over staring. Lured up pretty good.
My line is, if a girl's staring at me, I'll be like, I know I'm good looking, but you don't have to stare so hard. It's like...
In most people's mind, what's your scar look like? So you just show them before they even ask. Just, walk into a party with your shirt off, and everybody will be like, did he just walk in with his shirt? Most people would be like, oh, aren't you self-conscious about it? It's like, well, this is me.
I have a scar that runs from like the middle of my hip and down around my knee, and then it also runs to 7 inches down my thigh. But yeah, I told a lot of stories about my scar. I've said that it was a battle wound from Nam, or I got bit by a shark. And actually most people will believe those answers, not the Nam one obviously, but will believe those answers before they'll believe that you have bone cancer.
Yeah, I tell people like I had like a C-section and stuff, and I got pregnant when I was 10.
I'm Joey. I'm a burn survivor, and I'm 17. Fighting is the wrong way of dealing with it. Go to a teacher, or your parents, or, I don't know, somebody important to you. I dealt with it the wrong way. I never said anything, I kept it on the side, and it hurts when it builds up on the inside.
It's important to be aware of your own anger and to go to the appropriate people. Go to a counselor, go to a friend, go to a family member, and find time every day or every week or however often you need to just talk and just to vent about the struggles of what it's like to go through what you're going through.
Kids are probably going to be worse than anything else, so if you can go back to school and deal with it and, you know, be okay with it, then basically I think you'll be set.
My name is Sophia. I'm a burn survivor and I'm 16. I don't even know how I got started, but there was, rumors that would go around school, and somehow it got around that I had plastic surgery. So everyone was trying to figure out what I got done. And it turned out that all my reconstructive surgeries for burns are in a way plastic surgery, but it's not. I didn't get like my nose done or anything.
My mom probably had 3 or 4 phone calls of parents of my friends that were, in tears saying, "Oh, we're sorry to hear about Scott's death." And I'm sitting right next to my mom, and when she answers the phone.
I mean, I was shocked at first. I'm like, well, obviously if I'm here, I'm not dead.
Rumors and innuendo may be flying around the campus. Somebody may have thought they heard you were dead or you were going to die because you had a serious illness.
There's people asked me, they said, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" And I said I had a stomach problem, so they just assumed since I would have to go to the bathroom constantly, and I was I was anorexic or I was bulimic.
And some girl had started spreading rumors that, she's not really sick. She's just bald. That's the only thing that's going on with her, because I got a lot of attention as soon as I got sick. I mean, there were newspaper articles, and basically I guess she was jealous, which is hard.
I know in my daughter's case, because she wants to be more private about the circumstances of her illness, it means there's more mystery about it. And therefore, kids can think whatever they want. They can think that she's contagious. They can think that, something horrible is happening when it's not true. But as long as there's mystery, the imagination can run wild.
My name is Deanna. I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and I'm 18. I prefer they come and ask me rather than, to talk amongst themselves, so it can all be out in the open and everybody won't have to talk behind your back.
And then when you get to school and you see faces that know you, but they're too scared to come up to you, the only way that's going to do it is through laughter.
If you just joke around about it, then people feel more secure around you to ask you a question, because they know that, it's not such a sensitive subject with you that they don't want to bring it up or something like that.
Hi, Becky. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and I'm 16. And I was put on this medicine called prednisone, and my cheeks got really puffy, and people started calling me chipmunk and asked how many nuts I was storing.
Yeah, I look like a chipmunk, or I look like a walrus.
Yeah, I look like Fire Marshal Bill.
I'm 2 years behind in my bone growth and in every other thing. So, I have small feet and I have small body, so people will be like, "What are you, shopping at Kids R Us?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I am. I have to."
Sometimes people do it because they're mean and cruel, but very often people say unkind things because they're uncomfortable and they don't quite know what to say.
My name is Angela. I have leukemia and I'm 14. Before I got the illness, I was picked on, and I have to admit that I picked on a few people. But whether you're burned or you get an illness or you have a disability, you really see people in a different view. Everyone is the same.
Some people weren't very nice about it. They would, make comments, basic kid thing, to be rude. You can't be a wimp about it, because that's just kind of what they want to see.
Kids tease and stare because they don't know what's wrong. It's a mystery to them, and that's the only way they can deal with it.
I'm Gerard. I was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, and I'm 13. My science teacher said, you can read 6 chapters in 2 days. And, he wouldn't give me time to study. He wouldn't extend the test date.
This teacher, she would tell me to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, and she would say, Eddie, you're so rude, why aren't you standing up for the Pledge of Allegiance? And that's when I just said, no, I know what the root of this problem is, and I went to my counselor and I said, please, can you talk to this teacher? And the teacher stopped. But my counselor, she would say, Eddie, stand up for your rights. Stand up for your rights.
You have to make the stand. I had teachers coming up to me telling me, hey, farmer, man, I have to go around town, I'm bald.
I'm Jarrell. I was diagnosed with asthma and I'm 15. Teachers always keep a watch out on me. I couldn't take gym because I had to have a doctor's note.
We found through experience over the years that by providing direct information to school teachers, the people that work on the campus about what you're going through, we can demystify the experience so they will treat you more like a normal, regular person.
We can't really go up to a teacher and be like, I'm in the middle of XYZ drug and I'm, going to be going in 3 weeks for this, because that's all German to them, it doesn't make any sense.
Kids don't make that effort either. Our kids are just like, well, forget it. I think teachers are more likely to want to help if they see faces who want to learn.
I'm John. I received a heart transplant, and I'm 19. And I've heard all sorts of stories like, yeah, my high school counselor was pretty worthless. This guy really just, bent over backwards, basically, to make sure everything was going all right with me.
I think a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll complain about something when they've made no effort to remedy it. So I think it's your job, as much as it is the teacher's job, to make sure that you're getting the education that you deserve.
The more you can communicate with your teachers, whether it's somebody from the school or somebody from the hospital, the more you can take responsibility about your future, the more you can get done and the more you can achieve.
I actually got to be really good friends with some of my teachers because they would help you more if they know you like them and they like you.
We had this big meeting with me, my parents, and then the school administrators. They set it all up so it was almost bug-free, it was flawless, me going back.
Just remember that the teachers are on your side. They may be a little overwhelmed sometimes, and you may have to feel like you're banging down the door. Just keep banging till you get some attention. Don't stop.
My name is Olivia. I have a rare cancer called leptomeningeal and I'm 14. In the assignment notebook, it said you should only spend 2 hours on homework, but when I'd come home, I'd have to spend about 7 hours, so it's hard to be blind and do homework.
You just can't get as much homework done as the rest of the kids. So it's hard because you want to do well, but there's also things holding you back.
It wasn't just that I would come home from school and loaf around until I decided to do some homework. It was that I was beat.
I don't know if they really realized I had all these other classes to make up while I was working on the present work in their class.
There are regulations within school districts that protect the rights of individuals who are coping with illness.
So let's say a parent has a student that is falling behind and they want an IEP.
What? IEP? Huh? What's IEP?
What?
An individualized educational plan, or we call that an IEP for short. And that's basically accessing services that are reserved for children, teenagers, kids who have needs for special services.
There are different types of systems in place to provide services to people with chronic illness as well as protect their rights.
So an IEP is not a stigma. So don't think of it that way. Think of it as extra tutoring help.
I'm Mike. I was diagnosed with a form of leukemia, and I'm 18. Bottom line was they were pretty easy on me for work. It's just kind of funny because that's when all my really good grades were in high school. It was first semester of freshman year.
Don't be afraid to use what is legitimately put there to help people like you.
The school sent tutors and stuff, so I had a lot of extra help and everything, and I didn't have to do my homework by myself. They would do my math homework with me.
So it was a lot of help this year.
My name is Katie. I'm a burn survivor, and I'm 16. I was actually at rehearsal last night, and I've never worn shorts there, and guys are flirting with me. Guys are all, hi, Katie, what's up? I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. The minute I wore shorts, though, they were on the other side of the room.
They asked my first girlfriend if a guy in a wheelchair can kiss. I just about exploded.
If you have a romantic moment with your girlfriend and you just start coughing, it's very aggravating. Then you go in to kiss her and it's like, excuse me.
I had a girl ask me that if I was in love with a girl before I had my heart transplant, if I'd still be in love with her after my heart transplant.
On my stomach, I have a lot of scars, and that's another thing. I won't let anybody get really close to me because I had one boyfriend who was like, don't worry, you can get them surgically removed. I mean, that's like saying, don't worry, you can get a facelift or something, We can fix that nose.
People touch my scars. I think it's pretty cool. It's smooth and doesn't bother me, no. My girlfriend, for instance, she does it all the time. She feels my hand. She thinks it's pretty cool, so.
Like any other guy, I have my preferences. Why lie?
So it's mainly looks?
No, I didn't say.
Well, preference.
I mean, they gotta look good and they gotta have a pretty good personality to talk to. Stuff like that.
As your friends are going out with, different people every weekend or whatever, you're kind of looking for someone who's more stable, more, I guess, your ideal.
I go from girl to girl. Gotta have a girlfriend.
For a while, I was only dating guys with cancer because they could understand me, but didn't turn out that way. All guys are guys. Guys will be guys no matter what. We know what we want and guys know what they want, so it doesn't matter if they have an illness or not now. It's like, if they have a good heart, then you'll find them.
My name's Scott. I had a heart transplant and I'm 17 years old. When I first came home, I would get a lot more emotionally attached a lot faster. And if that didn't work out or whatever, then the depression of that, plus the depression of the medicine, plus whatever treatment you're going through, all together just can build up way too fast. So I wouldn't suggest rushing into anything either.
It's good to tell your boyfriend or girlfriend that you're sick, just in case offhand if something happens, they'll know what to do. My boyfriend is real supportive, and I keep him around as long as I can.
1, 2, 3, 4. I always wanted to grow up just like my sister, and my sister was a cheerleader. I always wanted to follow her footsteps. And I got sick in 7th grade, and I missed cheerleading tryouts by 1 day. And then I tried out for freshman year, and of course I didn't make it again. But I'm going to try out for different things. Since my disease has limitations, I understand that, I might not be the best at everything, and I know I might not have made it in cheerleading because of it. That gets me mad that I wish, that I could just blow off my disease and just go out for whatever I want.
Hardcore, baby, suck it up! I mean, in my adapted PE class, we would play checkers. We would do our homework in there for other classes, and we would get credit for this. I think that's so ridiculous when I know that I can play basketball. I might not be Michael Jordan, but I know that I can play.
I wasn't able to play any sports because I couldn't breathe, running and all. So we had a trainer at our school who was trying to get people to come do athletic training. It wasn't just that we were going to be part of the team. We were actually going to help out the team. And so I liked that, so I did that.
I didn't look like everybody else, so I wasn't everybody else. The only other group to go to there is the drama group. And that's who accepted me because they don't really care. That's what I like about the drama group. So there are different cliques to go to.
I could have played football in theory, but the other guys, they're going on to sophomore football. They've been lifting all year. They're just stronger and bigger than me. And meanwhile, lacrosse, you don't have to be as big. You don't have to be as quite as powerful. So I was a good athlete, so I just went that direction and said, oh, well, I guess I won't be a football player anymore.
For me, I guess the best way to get back into school was just to get involved right away with all the things that I did before I was sick. And so kind of my number one priority was to get back into cheerleading and swimming. A lot of times in the hospital, I would be on chemo that day, and they would actually let me out on Friday night, and I would drive an hour and a half home, cheer at the game, and then I would drive back to the hospital. So it was a really good thing for me during my treatment.
My name is Angela. I had ovarian germ cell cancer. I'm 20, and I'm in remission. I wouldn't say I hope that every kid gets an illness so they can treasure life, but the question's still there, like why did it have to be me? And then you meet other people with cancer, and it's like, why them? Because they have worse stories.
It's almost like you couldn't imagine not having this as a part of your life, being burned or having an illness or whatever it is. I mean, I think in the end it's actually been a positive experience, however ironic that sounds.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think that it helps you be more tolerant to other people's differences also, because you felt what it's like to have people see you as something else just because of something that really you can't control.
It's funny because in this thing, I'm giving all the advice that I never took. I was really dumb because I waited until my senior year to start doing all of the activity. I'll go to dances and stuff. My first ever dance, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, you know. And now we're into the dance. I'm just like sitting there in my wheelchair, you know. And then one of my friends, she pulls me out into the dance floor. I was like, no. You know, I said, people stare at me enough. And then after 15 minutes, it was like, go ahead and stare. I don't care anymore, you know. Next thing I knew, I had 4 girls dancing around me. I was like, all right, this is cool. I felt like I was on top of the world that night. Now, my philosophy is do everything I possibly can. No limits.
All of you guys might not have boyfriends or girlfriends now. But you're good. Like you got rid of that.
I knew you guys when you looked at each other.
I don't even remember the question anymore.
I mean, I don't know if we would want to get that on camera where, you know,
Well, it's actually Beth Simon Seide. It's a doctorate in psychology.
My name is Dr. Ernie Katz. I'm a clinical psychologist and I direct the behavioral sciences section at the Children's Center for Cancer and Blood Diseases at Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
Actually, my friends, even though it sounds corny, like my friends were there every step of the way.
I watched like Ricky Lake and all the talk shows because then I felt like so happy that I wasn't like at those people's level and like.
Oh, boyfriend.
Wait, hold on. Do I look at you or the camera? Okay.
Just tell me your name and your condition.
I'm drunk. No, I'm drunk.
And how old are you?
I said that. 15.
Okay. All right.
And, well, you gotta have your parents too, you know. They're your main ladies. Oh, you gotta have the ladies. You gotta have the ladies.
My age?
I'm sorry.
Do I have to tell the truth?
Okay, so, should I just say it again then?
Just no, yeah.
Okay, yours, it's...
Like, history, I could care less what happened 100 years ago.
If you don't feel good, don't do it. I mean, don't do your homework.
You just sitting there, I mean, it's like you start talking to yourself or something in your head because you don't have no one to talk with. They're at school.
The way it happened, it hurt me for that time. But I got over it.
No mask.
This is for the kid mass audience thing.
I don't know if I want to talk about that.
Unfortunately, happen single.
Just for sake, okay.
Just remember that the students, just remember that the teachers are on your side.
My name is Carl. I'm prematurely balding, and I'm 44.